We're wrapping up fall and shifting into the colder, slower season in Chaffee County, Colorado. And if you're curious what this means as a buyer or seller in this market, stick around. I'm going to be going over the housing market statistics for October 2025 for Chaffee County, Colorado, which includes Salida and Buena Vista, Colorado, the largest towns in the county. And not only will I be going over housing prices, buyer demand, home inventory, but you're going to want to stick around until the end because I also give you some tips on how to maximize this market as a home buyer. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. This channel is all about living in the Salida, Colorado area and the real estate market here. So if that interests you, please be sure and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you're the first to know when new informative videos become available. My name is Monica McCarthy and I'm a realtor that specializes in Salida, Colorado and surrounding areas. And I get calls all the time from people just like you looking to move here. So whether you're thinking of moving here in a few weeks or a few months, please reach out to me. My contact information is below. And let's schedule a time to chat. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth transition to the Salida, Colorado area. Okay, let's talk about the October 2025 housing market statistics for Chaffee County, Colorado. To summarize for you, our home inventory went down, our buyer demand remained fairly steady, and our home prices went down this month. But stick with me, I will dive into those numbers now. Okay, first let's talk about home inventory. 2025 has been a great year for home inventory overall, so we have a great base of homes this year compared to what we've seen in prior years, particularly this time of year. So while home inventory is going down, it's still a lot higher than we usually see this time of year. There were 55 new listings that came on the market this past month, and that was only one fewer than last month. But we ended the month with 247 active listings, which is 26 fewer than last month. So like I said, that inventory is going down. Okay, now to buyer demand. Buyer activity has remained pretty steady this whole year, and it's continuing on even as we shift into the slower, colder season. The number of homes that went in the pending or under contract status was 50, which is slightly more than last month's 48. And this month, 49 homes closed compared to last month's 51. So our numbers remained pretty similar to last month. However, our overall days on the market went up considerably. The median number of days a home was on the MLS before it went in the pending or under contract status rose to 87 this October, which is far greater than the 31 that we saw in September. If you watch my September market update, I talk a lot more about how that reduced number of days on the market for September was quite unusual. So now we're back at a high amount of days on the market, which is a bit more common for this time of year. And the percent of list price received went down this month, which bodes very well for buyers if you're looking to negotiate a price that is less than listed price. So of course you are. In October, homes sold for an average of 95.6% of their listed price, which is 2.4% less than October of 2024 and brings our year-to-date list price received at 97% for the entire year of 2025. So it's easy to say homes are selling for about 97% of their listed price in our county overall. Okay, now to price. The median close price for a home in Chaffee County this past October 2025 was $650,000, which is a great amount compared to what we've been seeing this year. That is 8% less than last month and 6% less than last year. Pretty much through most of 2025, our median close price for this year has been higher than it was last year. So this is the first month in a while that our median close price was actually lower this year than it was last year. And looking at towns individually, Salida had a median close price of $648,000, which is 20% less than last year, while Buena Vista was $652,500, which is 12% more than last year. So it's mid-November right now as I'm filming this video, and we are shifting out of the fall season and more into the holiday season in the Chaffee County, Colorado area, which is historically a time of year when things just slow down in the real estate market as people shift into focusing more on preparing for the holidays. So usually, unless there's an urgent need for needing to buy or sell a property, we don't see a lot of activity this time of year for people who are just looking in general. And many sellers sellers right now tend to be a lot more motivated because they've either had their home on the market for quite some time, so they likely listed too high at the beginning of the selling season, at the beginning of summer, and now they're chasing the market often with price reductions or just letting it sit and not having it move. Or you have sellers putting their homes on the market relatively recently and tend to oftentimes, not always, they're oftentimes more motivated to sell their properties because, again, they don't want to drag out into the holiday season and into the winter time. So right now in our market, we do have a good amount of inventory for this time of year, as I've mentioned, and we have sellers that are more likely to be motivated. And we're seeing, as I mentioned, the percent of list price received at 97% overall for the year and just over 95% for this past month. So we're seeing that sellers are oftentimes negotiating at and accepting offers for a price below their listed price. So this is really good for buyers. So if you're a buyer right now, if you find that house you like, this is a really good time of year to buy, particularly if the buying and moving during the holiday season isn't a big issue for you. You can often find a pretty good deal right now. And so this goes for homes that have not only been on the market for a while, but sometimes even for homes that are just recently listed. I've recently had a situation with a client that we were able to negotiate a good amount off of list price for a home that was just recently listed. And in that scenario, I learned a bit about what was going on in the seller's situation, and we came to an agreement, and I was able to help my buyers navigate that. So I do recommend working with a realtor who knows the market, can help you identify a property that perhaps might have a bit of wiggle room, even if it's new to the market, and help you negotiate a really good deal for you. And again, if you're willing to purchase real estate this time of year as we shift into the holidays, you could make out with a really good investment for you and your family. And as a bonus, mortgage interest rates are continuing to remain in the low sixes and high fives. They're kind of, so depending on the week, look for the most recent updates, but they are not drastically rising and they're not drastically going down. They're still remaining at a pretty low number that can be favorable for you as a buyer. So that's all to say, right now is actually a really good time to buy. Keep that in mind as you're looking for properties in the Chaffee County, Colorado area. If you have questions about this market and want a bit more information customized to you, please reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. Be happy to help you navigate this market individually. Either way, I really appreciate your time watching this video. If you found it helpful, please share it with somebody who you think might also find it helpful, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful holiday season.